Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited because it is holiday season and today we are making tamales. In my family, we usually eat these around Christmas time, so I'm so excited to get started. Plus, tamales actually do really well in the freezer, but because we're in holiday season, we are super busy, so I'm gonna take a bit of a shortcut today and I'm gonna use a Costco rotisserie chicken for the meat in my tamale, but I'm gonna make my own green chili sauce from scratch because I need these to be packed with flavor. So let's go ahead and get started. Now first, I wanna get my corn husks soaking in some warm water. So I just have a bowl here filled up with water. These are my bag of corn husks. I was super surprised. This was the only brand at my store still left on the shelves. So I'm just gonna take these out and dunk them in my water here. Now I do plan on making about a dozen here, or 13 or so, but I am gonna add a few extra of the husks in my water because I'm gonna need them to cover up in my pot while these are steaming later. If you have not made tamales before, they can be super intimidating, but I think they're very beginner friendly. I was nervous the first time I tried them because growing up, my grandma's the one who would make them. But now that I don't live as close, I had to learn to make them on my own and they come out so good. So here I just have my corn husk soaking in my warm water. You're gonna wanna let that sit in here for about at least 20 minutes because you need these to be pliable when you roll them up. And I'm just gonna take a plate here to help make sure they stay down in the water. Now I wanna get the produce started for roasting my green chili sauce. Now in my pan, I'm gonna add in 2 Roma tomatoes, 1 jalapeno, 1 poblano, and about 4 serranos I have in here, and 10 peeled small tomatillos. That all in my pan. And I'm gonna start roasting these on my stove until they get soft. Okay, it's been a couple minutes, so I just wanna turn these. You can see they're getting some nice char. See right there? That's what we're looking for. So I just wanna make sure I get them roasted on both sides. I'm gonna let these keep working for a few more minutes. All right, now I wanna get started on my masa. So I have my bowl here. And I'm gonna start by mixing 2 cups of my corn masa mix. And that's gonna be about 240 grams. So I am following a higher protein recipe here, a little loosely, but I am gonna be adding a little bit more protein into my tamales by using chicken bone broth instead of chicken stock because it's low calorie and high protein. Next, I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of some salt. And we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And I'm just gonna give that a little bit of a mix. So I am still using lard. And this is the one I'm using. This is Snowcap. I'm sure you could use anything. But I'm only gonna use about a little over 5 tablespoons, which is about 70 grams. Now I have measured out my 70 grams in this dish, and I just wanna microwave it for maybe about 30 seconds or so before I add it into my bowl. Now while we're waiting for our lard to melt, we're gonna go ahead and add in 1.5 cups of chicken bone broth. Now this is just some organic bone broth that I get from Costco. And like I said, bone broth, this is 1.5 cups. It's 45 calories per serving and you get 9 grams of protein. In my house, I've basically completely replaced chicken stock with chicken bone broth. Little tricks like that are gonna help to keep adding more protein into my foods because it's been working really well for my nutrition lately. So we're just gonna get that mixed in. It already smells like tamales in here. I love it. I know that traditionally tamales may not always be super healthy, but I'm going to actually portion mine out with the masa to help with the calorie level, which you totally don't have to do, but little tricks like this, like I've been saying, has been really helping out my nutrition lately so that I don't go overboard, especially when something is so delicious as tamales. So now that I have that mixed in, my melted lard, and we're just gonna pour that in. And I did let my lard cool a bit before pouring it into my mixture. Now, with very clean hands, I'm just gonna mix this up. Mix my lard into my masa, just like that. It should feel very moist, but not, you know, liquidy, and very easily to spread. You should be able to feel that texture in your hands as you're mixing this. Now for me, so this original recipe that I'm following does make about 13 tamales. So I'm going to take mine, again, you don't have to do this, but I'm gonna take mine and individually weigh out the masa so that I get the same amount of masa per tamale, meaning the same amount of calories per tamale as well. And I'm gonna do that by just taking out my masa dough, and I'm adding it onto my cutting board here so that I can weigh full amount. That's about 670 grams. So I'm gonna split this up into 13 balls. All right, here I have my 13 little portioned balls of masa. For my chicken, what I did yesterday when I brought this chicken home from Costco, I went ahead and I threw it in this Ziploc bag. That is the best hack I've seen so far on shredding rotisserie chicken. Also super mess free. You throw it into the Ziploc bag, seal it up, and just sort of start massaging the chicken. And when you massage it through the thighs, the breasts, everything, the meat just starts pulling away from the bone. Such a cool hack. I've been doing that ever since I saw it done online. And you definitely want to do that while the chicken has not been refrigerated yet, because when it's cold, it's going to be much harder to massage out and come away from the bone like that. And I threw it in my fridge so that it's already sort of pre-loosened up from the bones. And now it's pretty much ready to use for my tamales, and I can just add in my sauce mixture. So I'm gonna finish getting this chicken out of my bag, and I think I'm also going to be portioning these out as well, just so that I know how much protein I'm getting per tamale. So I'm gonna do about shy of 2 ounces of chicken in each tamale, about 1.8 ounces in here. Okay, so I have all of my shredded chicken on my tray here. I'm gonna set that aside so we can get started on our green chili sauce. Now, all of my roasted veggies have beautiful color and they're nice and soft. So I'm just gonna add them into my blender here. Some of them did pop open a little bit, totally fine. I'm gonna add in all of that juice. I'm just real quick gonna pop off the stems on the chilies. Probably don't have to do that, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it just because the stems are a little woody to me. Now I'm also gonna add in, the recipe's for 3 garlic cloves. I have closer to 4 in here, and 1 cup of water. And I'm also gonna add in just a little bit of salt to taste and some pepper. And I'm gonna get this blended up. All right, my green chili sauce is blended up. Look at how beautiful that looks. It smells so good. I wish you could smell it. It smells super fresh, super good. Now, I already have sort of an assembly set up here with everything that I need, and as I make them, I'm gonna start adding them to my pot. Now, I don't have a tamale pot. I don't even have a steamer grate for my pot. So, little trick that you can do is if you don't have one, you can just get some foil and roll it up into like a ring shape. I'm doing 2 ring shapes, and and I'm going to set my tamales on top of the rings because when you're cooking them to steam, you don't want them sitting in the water at the bottom of the pot. They will be in there for a while. As I build these, I'm going to start adding them onto the foil of my pot. And yes, one day I will get a real tamale pot, tamale steaming pot. But if you don't have one either, little basic trick you can do. So I already drained out some of the water on my corn husk and grab one of these. You can see that it's super pliable now. Opens and closes, folds, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now I'm just going to take one ball of my masa. So remember, I'm only doing this because me, Nicole, likes to eat a lot of tamales. But if I pre-measure it out this way, I have a better idea of how much I'm eating. And that's for about the past year and a half or so, that's been really helping with my nutrition and my overall diet, is to know exactly portions, how much of things that I'm eating, and upping my protein. I just take my masa and I'm spreading it out onto the corn husk. So this is probably the most time consuming part of this, but it's gonna be so worth it. They just give me holiday vibes because we had them so often during Christmas from my grandma. So I smooth it out, you can see, just like that. Now, super simple, like I said, I'm gonna do mine measured chicken so that I know how much protein I'm getting in these. I'm gonna do about 1.8 ounces in my bowl, and my delicious green chili sauce, I don't measure because produce is so few calories and has so many nutrients, super good for you. I'm just gonna spoon in my green chili sauce and then mix it up in my bowl like that. Oh my gosh, this smells so good actually. You could really eat it out just like that. So there's my little green chili mixture. I'm gonna add that onto corn husk, just like that. I'm gonna kind of spread it out a bit. I like mine to be nice and saucy because that sauce is gonna add so much flavor to this chicken. And all I'm gonna do is just fold it over, just like that. And on the seam side, fold the bottom up. And that's it, that's done. I'm gonna add it into my pot. I'm just gonna show you up close. Take my masa, and the back of my spoon is what I'm using to spread my masa out. And I'm trying to get it even so that it's a nice thin layer all the way to the bottom here. I have it in the palm of my hand and I'm using that to help put pressure to spread out this masa, just like that. The palm of my hand and the back of the spoon. Apply pressure and you have a nice even layer. And again, the amount of masa you use is really up to you. I'm just using more of a thin layer because I want more meaty tamales. Okay, that looks about good. Now I'm taking my measured 1.8 ounces of chicken. I'm adding a nice scoop of my green chili sauce. Mix that up. And I'm telling you, portioning these out is what saves me, so that I know exactly how many I can eat that day, which is always more than one. So I just spread it out like that, fold it over to a nice little package, fold that up like that and into my pot. All right, so now I have all of my tamales layered, tucked in nice side by side together on top of my foil. Now to get these ready for steaming, I have just some boiling water here that I'm gonna pour at the bottom, just enough to cover the bottom where the foil is, but not touching the tamales. I'm gonna turn up my heat to about medium low. I'm gonna take some of my extra corn husks and sort of cover my tamales to help them steam better. Get a nice layer on top. Now we're gonna keep these going for about 90 minutes covered. And that's it for now. And we'll check on so it's been about 90 minutes here steaming. So now I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the heat. And I'm just gonna let them rest in here for 20 minutes and then we'll take them out and let them rest for at least another 20 minutes so the masa can firm up and harden. And I'm gonna leave the top on as well. So we'll come back and check on these. All right, so it has been 20 minutes resting with the heat off. Now I'm just going to take out my tamales and I'm gonna let them rest for at least another 20 minutes just on my tray here. We wanna do this because this is gonna let the masa harden as they cool. They're very hot right now. You can see here, not all of my water evaporated, so we were good. I was a little worried about that, but the water stays pretty well. We're just gonna continue to pull these out. We'll come back in about 20 or 30 minutes. 20 minutes is up. So I'm gonna show you and open one of these up. You can see that masa got nice and firm. I'm gonna kind of open one up a bit so that you can see. Nice and tender. Just like that. So good. Has the perfect amount of spice. The masa is perfectly moist in there and there's so much chicken. So good. All right, everyone, that is it. We are done. We are ready to eat. I'm so excited. They smell so good. I'm so happy with how our tamales turned out. And I am no expert at making tamales. So that just shows you how beginner friendly these can be. I don't let my leftover green chili sauce go to waste. I heat up a little bit of it and pour that right over my warm tamales. And I even do sometimes a little drizzle of Mexican crema or sour cream, whatever I have on hand at the time. And it is so good. Also in the morning, breakfast tamales are a thing, at least in my home, because we warm up these tamales. I like to warm them up right on the pan. And we throw a couple of over easy or fried eggs right on top, again with a little bit of my extra green salsa, and they are so yummy. So I'm so happy that I have this fresh batch for the holidays, and I even portioned them out to help me stick to some better decision making and nutrition, but still pack so much flavor. If you enjoyed this one, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up because it would really help out my channel. If you enjoy my home cooking, make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of the videos that come out soon. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.